Hello, everyone. I am Brian Smith, and I am joined by Miami Hurricanes commitment Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah, welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing? How's everything in Clearwater?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. First question I have, just to get it out of the way, because it's a personal thing. It's just
hmm
just curiosity. You and I discussed it a little bit off air. You're originally from Toronto, massive
Yeah,
city. Obviously, the weather is slightly different where you're from compared to Clearwater. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. It is like polar opposites. What has it been like in terms of culture to be in Clearwater? Now you're adapted. Obviously, you're comfortable. Heck, you probably wouldn't even do this podcast if you weren't. But like, how long did it take you to adapt to live on the west coast of Florida after being in Toronto?
it definitely took me a while. I would say it took me about like a month, 2 months to just adjust personally, making the change. The move away from home. Um, it's very different. Obviously like weather wise, environment wise, like just like how it looks. Like I said, Toronto's very urban, very up. It's a very up area, like a lot of buildings and stuff like that. A lot of cars, a lot of highways, and just making the change. It was like moving down to like a tropical island. Like it was just so different. Like honestly.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about being like in Clearwater besides the weather? I mean, that's obvious. You got the beach and all that. That's self-explanatory. What's the best change about coming down to Clearwater?
The best change is that I can work all around like anytime I want. I don't have to worry about weather. Like I could go anywhere. I can train anywhere. Like honestly, like I think the freedom you have down in Clearwater is definitely different than it is back home in Toronto. Um, I would say, yeah, like I was like there's like a lot of things down there for me in terms of like football wise.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about your Miami commitment. For the people out there, what did you like about Mario Cristobal, and what's like the conversation like when you're on the phone with him, or if you're even down at the U? What's it like?
But my favorite thing about Mario was like, oh, Coach Cristobal, sorry, um, was that I got a chance to sit in the room with him, and he just gave me some real answers. He's a very real person, and I saluted him for that because I didn't want any BS answers that he might have given me anyone else. I want it straight away. I asked him, hey, like tell me about this, tell me about that. Don't BS me. Like he's very real, and I think he definitely has a plan. He definitely knows where he wants to take the U, and I support that, and I want to stand by that 1,000%.
That's appreciated. A lot of coaches do use a lot of BS. That is not a first time I've heard that. I hear it about every day since I work in the recruiting industry. To that point, give me like I cover Miami, so I've been to the campus. I know the area and all that. Give somebody like a 20-second visual tour. Like, what were some of the things you thought were cool about being at UM?
The one thing I thought was really cool about UM is that one, it's not multiple campuses, and like
Right, it's true. It's one deal.
right, it's just one big campus, right? Dorms are very, very nice. You have a nice pond and a big
Yeah,
fountain in the middle of campus, and like everyone walks around. Everyone's really nice. Um, Students are very, very nice. The campus itself, great food, great dorms. You have a whole beach on campus. Like that was crazy to me. Yeah, you had a whole beach on campus and stuff like that. And then the facilities are amazing. Like you walk in, you have the nice weight room, and you have the nice big indoor facility. You have the outdoor practice fields, and honestly, like it was just paradise. It just honestly looked like paradise to me.
that's fair, man. That campus, the first time I walked around, I'm like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, it's got palm trees. It's just very natural.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
not faked. It's the natural trees. It's the natural situation around with all the vegetation, and they blended in with some buildings. They did a really good job architecturally with that campus. All right, thoughts on the schools that are still trying to get you? It's just because you committed to the Hurricanes doesn't mean school A through Z have stopped. Like, is it still crazy, or is it just like a couple of schools are really trying to get you to visit and stuff?
No, I would say in the first week or two of my commitment, it was like that. But I really expressed that, hey, like my recruiting's done. Nothing's gonna happen. I had schools visit my school, obviously during the spring period, talk to me about getting me on campus and getting me down and stuff like that. But I just said, hey, like my recruiting's done, nothing is gonna change. Like this is my
Okay.
decision. Like I'm not taking any visits. There's no point.
Okay. What what about that? Like, did you decide that like with family? Like, okay, I'm committing to Miami. I'm done. Did you guys talk about it that way, or was it just something you just felt it was best?
No, I just think it's what happens when you commit. That's just me. Like if I'm committed, I'm not gonna go anywhere else. It doesn't make sense. Like I'm committed. Why would I go somewhere else to go visit? You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna sit here and commit if I want to go visit like another school. So I sat there when I committed. I was with my coaches, and they were like, "Hey, like if you commit, then you have to be open to the idea of shutting down and only taking one visit." I said I only want to take one visit. I only want to take one OV. So I'm gonna commit. I don't care about the rest.
You sound like the complete 100% opposite of the vast majority of Florida kids that I know. So this state is kids don't look at commitment anywhere near the same by and large. So that's kind of refreshing. Um, well, good for you. And it sounds like Miami is locked in. What, just for the sake of argument, what's the date you're visiting Miami, just to confirm?
The 23rd to 25th,
Okay, that's what I had too.
two
Just
weeks.
wanted to make sure that was still the same. Let's talk a little bit about your injury. You hurt your knee last year. You've been rehabbing it, and I know you were pretty close to last time I was over in Clearwater. Where are you now, and what are the doctors saying as far as you being 100% clear, ready to play football?
So now I'm only 6 months post surgery. In terms of like training, like I'm back to my intense track, running, lifting, everything is back, jumping, everything is back. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, everything is back in terms of that. My surgeons are very worried about me as a person just because I'm very up and antsy and I like to run around, be around and stuff like that. So they're very scared of me, risking risking any like further injury, But they just want me to take things slow. I feel great. My knee feels great. Running feels great. Jumping feels great. It feels like I haven't lost anything in my step. Um, right now, the only thing holding me back is just my surgeons telling me, "Hey, take it slow. Don't do this. Don't do that." But in terms of when I'm at 9 months, like I'm gonna feel really good. I know I feel really good. I know for a fact that my body's healing really well. So I'm very happy where I am right now.
Well, that's great news. You never know with the knee injury of any kind. Doesn't matter if it's meniscus, PCL, MCL, ACL. It doesn't matter.
Right,
There's
exactly.
always risk about the other parts of your body compensating, them getting hurt, et cetera. And that's probably some of the stuff that the doctors were worried about with you. I'm quite sure of that. My dad had a really bad injury when he was a kid. And he still got a scar on his knee. It looks like somebody got into a knife fight with him and he didn't win. But it's a tough injury to come back from, and you're ahead of schedule. So
Yeah,
Godspeed on that. That's awesome, man.
yeah.
Um, what about, obviously you're going to be way past cleared by the time the end of this next season gets here. Are you planning to enroll early, meaning next January at Miami, and B, what do you think your opportunities to play early are for the Canes?
Yeah, I'm gonna early enroll. In terms of right now, like high school is pretty much done for me. Being from Canada, getting credits early because in Canada we start high school a year earlier than they do
Correct.
in Florida and states. So right now, like the focus is making sure that when I get there in January, I'm physically ready, mentally ready. Working with Coach Dye, Coach Gidry on making sure that when I get there that I know everything because I don't want to get there and have to learn. I want to get there and know everything on the spot, just like that. Increase my chances of playing early, and you know, playing for someone like Coach Dye who went to West Virginia and started his first year.
Sure.
He definitely believes in freshmen if they know everything and they can play, getting in early. And I definitely do believe that he thinks I can get in early, and so does Gidry for sure.
Well, I think they're going to lose one, if not both, of their safeties after this year. They're both obviously very talented.
Yeah, exactly.
Kinchins and Williams. And because they're so good, this is one of the weirdest thing about sport, especially at the college level. You get a guy for 4 seasons
Yeah.
at best. When
Yeah.
they're good, they leave a year early, and when they're this good, they never come off the field. So next year they're going to have pretty much two brand new safeties, no matter if it's you or somebody else, and they're going to have to play some different guys. So they're going to be in a totally different boat. So I'm really curious to see how the safety situation plays itself out because Cameron Kinchins was an All American as a sophomore. James Williams has as high an upside physically as any guy in the country, regardless of position. They're
Yeah.
both NFL talent, so you're definitely going to have a chance. There's no doubt about it.
1,000%.
Um, that's a lot of fun. So the other thing I wanted to ask you about, like we talked about the adjustment from coming over. Is there an adjustment like also with football? Like Canada, personality wise, it's just completely different than the states in general.
Yeah.
It's probably a little more laid back. It's not as aggressive. That'd be the first thing. But like compared to Florida kids, like I'm sure you were probably shocked at like how some kids in Florida act, like especially on the field, talking
Uh,
trash and stuff. Is that accurate, or were you not so taken back?
yeah, like I would definitely say that Florida kids definitely play more with their mouth than they do with their actual like play as a whole.
Yep.
In terms of like the speed of the game, like I already knew it well. Like I played at a school up in Canada that traveled down to the States last year to play all their games, right? So like I played like schools like Life Christian Academy. I played IMG. You know what I mean? Like I played all those American schools. I played St. Edwards in Ohio, the number one team in Ohio. You know, like I played. So like the speed of the game, I didn't have to adjust to it. Like the adjustment wasn't bad at all. It was actually pretty easy to me. In terms of like personality wise, definitely for sure. You know, it was definitely weird having to play, 4 stars and stuff like that, and see how they are, and just realize that hey, like you guys are regular kids too. You know, you guys aren't all that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Last question for you.
Mhm.
Since you've been in the States, you've probably changed your body, you've changed your mentality, all that kind of stuff. What do you think that you've learned being in Florida? And of course, CAI, you guys don't shy away from competition, obviously. How has it been to like help you develop and grow, not just on the field, but off? Like, how have you changed since you've been in Florida and like getting ready to go to college? Do you think you'd be the same guy if you stayed in Canada, or do you think it's really changed you?
No, I've definitely had to mature. Like I've definitely had to mature. You know, when I'm in Florida, I live on my own. Like I don't have parents down here. So all the things I do by myself are on my own. The adjustment of moving away from home, I had to get used to that really early. Compared to kids who might be home all throughout their high school years, and then they go off to college and they have that like away from home dilemma. I had to go through that pretty early. Um, yeah, like I would say, like as a person, um, I gotta cook for myself. I gotta clean for myself. You know what I mean? Like I gotta do things as I gotta do things as an adult would going into this world, right? I don't
Sure.
have mommy and daddy picking up after me anymore when I'm down there. So yeah, I would say I definitely had to mature as a person in terms of like my growth and you know being mature and
Well, it is a big adjustment. Some kids can't do it. Some
no,
kids aren't ready to go off on their own. And, even though they got people watching over them at the dorm or whatever,
yeah,
it's not for everybody.
no,
Well, Isaiah, stick with me. I appreciate it. I'll talk with you just a moment after the show.
yeah,
But please, if you're out there, like this podcast, share it and comment. What do you think about Isaiah picking Miami? And what are you looking forward to seeing him in a Miami uniform? What do you want to see him do? So, everybody, have a great day. Thank you very much.